Yo, what's up guys, it's Salah here again today, and today I'm going to explain a topic. I'm going to make a program that is swapping with pointers. So earlier in the programming class in the first semester we did a program of swapping normally, so we didn't use any pointers. The logic was the same, where we declared three variables, and the first variable was temp, and it stored the value of the first variable, and then we swapped the values, and then we displayed the values as an output. But here now what the teacher wants us to do is he wants us to do the same program using the pointers. So we are going to make a swap function, and then we are going to pass the addresses as the parameters for the function, and then it processes it and solves it, and then swaps the values using the addresses, using the parameters, using the addresses as the parameters, and using the pointers. So first let's declare two variables. So, and I'm using two variables, so I'm going to swap the values of them. So a equals let's say 50, and you can also declare these two variables on the same line, but I think it will be pretty neat if I do it on two separate lines. So int a equals 50 and int b equals 25, or you can just say that a is 25 and b is 50, so that way you'll be able to notice more easily the change or the swap which I'm going to do. So here let's see out I say a is a and b is b, and so here let's check if it's working properly. So it's giving me, yep, it's giving me a is 25 and b is 50. So now what our objective is to swap the values of these two variables, but we have to do it using pointers. So and we have to first we have to make a function, and we are going to pass the addresses of these two variables into that function. So what is the variable which stores the addresses? Yes, that's the pointer. So let's create a function. So void swap. So and this function is going to be void. So void swap and the parameter list, and the parameter list is so now here I'm going to so now I know that I'm going to pass the addresses of these variables as a parameter. So for the addresses to be stored in any variable, I need pointer variables. So what is the declaration of pointer variables? Is int star, so it's going to be int. They are int variables, both of them are int variables. So I'm going to the formal parameter list is going to be integer parameter list. So int star a, or you can say int star x and int star y. Now I'm going to do the coding. So the logic is the same. So here I say int z, so I declare, or you can say int temp. So int temp is your the variable which is going to store the value of the first one, so that it can be copied afterwards into the second one. So here I'm going to show how this is going to work. So int temp, and let's say temp equals, so there's a difference between when you initialize a pointer variable, or when you declare a pointer variable. So this star means that this pointer is pointing towards the variable of it is a pointer to type int, a variable of type int. But when you use this star in an expression, that in that case it's going to show you the value which is pointed to by that pointer. And you can also use that expression, that star expression, the asterisk expression, to do everything you can do with a normal variable. So for example, here if I say temp star x, so what is going to do, star x is this star x is representing the value of x or a, which the parameter I'm going to pass into when I'm going to call the function. So the star x now is like the expression like a is. So like it's the star x the asterisk, this asterisk x is like it's like a, it's like the expression, it's like the variable now. So what the difference is, in the declaration of a pointer variable, we declare, when we declare a pointer variable, we say that this pointer is a pointer to type int. But when we use this as an expression, what we mean is that it's going to show you the value, and you can do you can do everything with this expression as you can do with the normal variable. So so the logic is the same, the logic is going to remain the same. So temp equals star x, so temp is going to have the value of star x. Now what I can do is I can assign star x. So this star x is now this asterisk x is now can now act as a variable. So you just consider it as a variable, so you don't get confused like I did. So star x equals asterisk x equals, I keep saying star, asterisk x equals asterisk y. So the value of asterisk y, or you can say that the value of b is copied in the value of a, and now asterisk y, which is, you can say, b, the value of this, the z, I mean temp is the value of temp. And what is temp? Temp is actually asterisk x, which we initialized previously. So asterisk x equals temp. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the function right here. So first I'm going to declare the prototype of this function above all the functions, above the main function. So I'm going to copy it, I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to put a semicolon after it. So now this is the prototype of the function. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the function swap, and I am going to pass two parameters, and as I said earlier, that I'm going to pass the addresses, uh, address of A and address of B into this function. And now after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to output the same statement. I'm going to output the same statement which I output before calling this function. So now when I'm going to copy this statement and paste it here, so now these values should be swapped. So let's see if this works. It took so much time. Alright, so as you can see, this is working properly. So A is 25 and B is 50, as it was before. A was 25 and B was 50, and after the swap, after we swapped it using the pointers, A is 50 and B is 25. So now this is working perfectly. So there's actually no real benefit of using pointers instead of the main variables, but there are some cases in your programming practice. There will be some cases where you don't actually know the variable name, you just know the address of the variable. So then you're going to need pointers. Then pointer is going to be the process, or to be the thing, to be the logic that is going to help you solve the problem. So pointer is, you cannot say that pointer is of no use. You'll need pointers in when you go on a higher level, but for now we can just use the normal variable instead of pointers. But we should have at least a bit of knowledge of what pointers are and how it can help us in future programming practices. Alright guys, thank you very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Up till then, Allah Hafiz.